Player or team, PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
Signworks, a business serving businesses since 1985. Everything from signs and banners, vehicles and boats, magnetic and real estate signs, contractor signs, and much more. Signworks can do large format, full color printing too. Signworks, a real professional in the business world. Call Signworks at 785-8899. Signworks, 850-785-8899. Hewitt Tire and Auto has been in business in Panama City forever. Locals taking care of locals. From the smallest to the largest vehicles, they do it all. But don't take my word for it. Listen to the experts.
Hewitt Tire and Auto, your certified AAA service center and hometown towing.
Visit them online at HewittTire.com.
On Airport Road in Panama City.
850-769-7323. Hewitt Tire and Auto Center and hometown towing.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe, ESPN Northwest Florida.
The locals love it.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Stand by. On my mark. You survived the workday. Now survive the truth.
Don't you want to have the best 12 teams in college football playing each other?
It's time for the hardest hitting 2 hours on the Panhandle.
I love it. You're coming through. You got it, baby.
Now into the huddle with Paul Wilson on the Sports Blitz.
It is a joyous day. I love your show.
From the Emerald Coast to the edge of the atmosphere.
You gentlemen lift us up every day.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
What it do, people? It's the homie Lil Cash. Right now you tuned in with Paul Wilson on the Sports Blitz. 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida. The hottest sports show in the South. Let's go. Cause Lil Cash with another hit with Paul Wilson on the Sports Blitz. Where they talk trash and they talk ish. When it comes to sports, man, they too legit. It's 104.3 ESPN. If you love sports, better chime in. NFL, college, local sports, they got it. NBA, they got it. Sports Blitz, the topic. The show hottest wasabi. Better tune in and go watch it. Hey, Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson. If you even tried, you can't stop it. Bone Crusher gon' pop it. No Jeff gon' pop it. Go like, comment, subscribe, and share right now.
We are live and local on this Wednesday right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. This is the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here in the Panhandle, Panama City Beach. We welcome you. Thank you so much for joining us today. Don't forget, tonight, tip-off is at 6 o'clock for the Orlando Magic. So if you're riding around town and you're looking around, you can listen to the Magic play some basketball. As always, on a Wednesday, I got Tennessee Brandon in the building. Brando, how you doing today, my friend?
Man, doing good. Watching the Braves, rooting for them. The little brawl last night, it was great. I find that type of energy in a sport that can be a little dull to be fantastic. So, ready to talk about everything that's on the slate today.
Oh, my gosh. We already shots fired talking about it. And as always, on a Wednesday, Bone Crusher's in the building. Bone Crusher, how you doing?
Man, you can save those fights for hockey. This is a real sport.
Hey, Bone Crusher, that's why I watch hockey.
Most people do.
And we had Walt Weiss, the Braves manager, and his martial arts skills. He's a black belt. He's got jiu-jitsu skills.
Yeah.
And he had to separate
I heard the Falcons are actually looking to try to sign him to some kind of contract,
I mean, it was a full – I mean, he tackled him the right way. That's the biggest thing. But either way, if you want to be a part of the show, you can be 850-215-6290. If you think about it, though, realistically, let's talk about it for a second. So the Braves are there, and a lot of people have seen it on social media.
Yeah.
But when you think about it, what was anything that stood out to you? So for real, the coach standing in there and tackling him, knowing that Soler was a part of the Braves championship, so he knows him.
Yeah.
And he also knows how big of a man he is and how much damage he could do. The punches were unreal that he was throwing. He was definitely throwing haymakers.
They were haymakers, man, and I was waiting for one of those to land. I find I don't condone the fighting, but the energy, the passion that these guys have. I mean, there's nothing more dangerous. Screw a fight, like the fight's a fight, but there's nothing more dangerous than throwing a 100-mile-an-hour fastball towards somebody's head. I know if anything's a fight in action, that is right there. These guys have a lot of control, and I believe Soler hit a home run prior to that.
The first inning, yeah.
The first inning. So we all know. Most of us have played baseball. We know the rules. They're going to go and check them just to kind of keep them honest.
Yeah.
And so nothing's more dangerous than throwing a fastball. And I'm all for the Braves. I'm Braves to the bone.
Me
but,
too.
When you start throwing 100-mile-an-hour fastballs up toward the head, expect some consequences.
And, he missed him on purpose, you could tell, but that was what was so disappointing for Soler is that you don't miss. You're not going to be a pro and miss that much. And so that's the whole deal, the staring. And then when he come off of the mound and threw his hands up, I think Soler was just lost.
I think there were some words that were said that obviously as listeners and viewers that we weren't able to get because obviously the camera was on second base on on the tag, and you're right, when the hands went up, I guarantee you some words were said, and Soler said, all right, let's get it on.
So Bone Crusher, are you for real about that, or were you just joking? Because you don't think there's a place for charging the mound in baseball?
I don't think we need fights. Yeah, I mean, no, we don't need a fight.
Yeah,
not in baseball.
Okay.
I understand tensions are high. The steroids are kicking in.
Oh, here we go.
We're throwing hands.
Have you been to a high school game or a college game lately? A baseball game?
No, I have not.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to tell you.
Are they fighting too?
They will. Yes. It's so. It's as they get older in middle school, early on in 14, 15, 16U baseball, there's a little bit of chatter that goes on during the game, and it is an acceptable thing that happens. Sometimes the umpires will step in and say, hey, that's enough, or knock it off, or hey, that's too much. But there's a lot of smack talking going on from the dugouts while each team is in the field, and I mean, it goes all the way up to the pros. So I think it's a part of the game. I think it's a part of the game that I don't think people, because it doesn't happen all the time. I mean, obviously, we're talking about it because on the first thing that we talk about on our show today, because it doesn't always happen. Used to, it would happen pretty regularly in the 80s and the 90s and stuff like that, but now it doesn't really happen as much because a lot of these guys are friends in the trade market and all that, so it doesn't happen as much.
More consequences, more suspensions, and
fines.
The news come out about an hour ago that there will be 7-game suspensions for Soler and Lopez. They're both appealing those.
Yeah.
But 7 games. I'm sure these guys got pretty hefty game checks, so 7 times whatever their game check is what they'll be losing.
And Drake Baldwin is a up-and-coming star, rookie of the year last year for the Braves. He's DHing today. He just got hit by a pitch, but it only just grazed his uniform, so it does count as a hit by pitch. And Soler is there today playing because obviously until they hand out the suspensions, they stay in the games if they're going to, in the starting lineup. They don't immediately keep them out. But I just, I'm going to differ from you. I think it's a part of the game. I think it's, I don't want people getting hurt. But I do think that sometimes that there's a chance that, if temperatures rise, and I know you said steroids, it's just like any other sport. When you have people that are super competitive, highly competitive, and they want to fight because somebody threw a 98, I think it was, mile-an-hour fastball around your head, and for a fact he was throwing at you. And sometimes when you get hit, it just hurts. Have you ever hit yourself at home and with a hammer or with something, or you did something while you're putting something together and you get mad? You're mad, and you can't be mad at the hammer. You can't be mad at yourself. I've hit myself with the hammer or a tool that I'm doing something at home, and I just throw the hammer down or throw the tool down and just be mad at that. So what it is they're mad. And because it hurts. When we get hurt, we get mad.
Yeah, no doubt. Our blood definitely boils. I just find it kind of funny. It's something I heard actually Stephen A. say on the show this morning. But this right here is probably the most relevant what the Los Angeles Angels have been in 10 years. Stephen A. said that the Angels haven't had a winning record since 2015.
Yeah.
They have not made the postseason since 2014, and here we are talking about them.
Yeah.
Give it summertime, more than likely over the last 10 years, the Angels would be irrelevant.
Yeah.
But right now, I mean, they're talk of the news with the
anytime we talk about the Los Angeles Angels, it is because Mike Trout's been hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's really the thing. If we're talking about the Angels, it's because Mike Trout got hurt and, Shohei used to play for them.
Shohei used to play. I was going to say, that was the second thing I was going to say that goes along with that is Shohei played there and got drafted there.
Well, I watched the video, and I've got a take on this, and I'm so aggravated. And the reason why I'm aggravated is because in this video, if you watch the video and you see it, there is things that is an unspoken rule in baseball. And one of those unspoken rules is if your pitcher hits a batter, your catcher is supposed to defend your pitcher. But if you look at it, last night, Jonah Heim, you're 30 years old. You've been playing enough baseball. You should have tackled Soler. But all you did was put your hand on his back, and then you stepped away? I cannot believe it. So I'm just telling you, listeners, if you're out there and you've seen the video, go back and look at it. Watch the catcher. I'm so disgusted with him. He's batting 92 anyway. The Braves need to cut him, get him out of here. We don't want you wearing the Brave tomahawk on your chest anymore. Jonah Helm, I am done with you. If there's anybody that I can talk to that'll get you signed with somebody else that'll get you cut, I'm out. Because if you watch the video, Brandon, I'm telling you what, it burnt me up because your catcher has supposed to have your back on the pitcher, and he didn't. And he did not do anything. And your manager
had
who's
to go out there and
over
tackle
50
him.
years old,
maybe 60
years old, tackled the guy. He's not scared, but you are, Jonah Heim.
You're right. And speaking of Jonah Heim, he's up to bat right now. I just
.091 batting average, no home runs, 1 RBI and 1 hit, and you're 30 years old.
It is disappointing, to be honest with you. I need to go back and watch that because my eyes weren't on him. My eyes were on the two contestants.
Yeah.
And you're right. You got one of your coaches out there tackling him. I mean, this guy, Helm, he's armored up, man. I told my 8U guy, I said, listen, you're the only kid on this field wearing armor. I said, that ball can't hurt you. I said, you got to block everything up. And the fact that he didn't step in, I do find it crazy. You're right. You get a basketball scuffle, you get that, and you have guys they look, and I get it. Some of them are ridiculous, and you're ashamed. But some of these guys, your teammates over here fighting or whatever, and they're walking away.
Yeah.
And I understand, for example, maybe Luka or something like that. You're on a or Draymond, you're on a technical, you got high technicals and you don't want to involve yourself because you'll hurt your team even further. I understand circumstances like that. But a guy 30, wearing armor, no history of anything, you have, a batter charging your pitcher, you ought to step in, man. I wouldn't want that guy catching for me if I was out there.
After the first punch, too, he still stepped away. He was trying to just be, I'm not asking you to put him in the stone cold stunner. I'm not asking you to do, pick him up and put him in the suplex. I'm just saying, just put your arms around him and grab him and hold him. You're a big guy. You can grab that guy. You're behind him. He's not focused on you. Every time you've ever seen somebody charge the mound, for the most part, unless they're running, you'll see right there with the mask on, with all the stuff on, they're running behind them trying to catch them because it is your job, catcher, to stop somebody from charging the mound. And Jonah Heim, if you're playing right now, you just made an out. You flew out to the outfield. You're batting 0.90 now. You lost all the respect that I have for you.
And if you've lost the respect, and I feel your passion, your fire, surely his teammates have to feel that too. Do you think anybody has said something to him after that? The accountability of, kind of that unwritten rule as a catcher. I mean, because if you're noticing it, they have to notice it. And that's got to kill some chemistry in that dugout, in that clubhouse.
And you know what? He was born. He was born in New York. He's supposed to be tough. He's from Buffalo. I mean, come on. How can you not, with all that gear on, not tackle Soler and not allow him to get to your pitcher? It just doesn't make any sense. When I saw that, I had to rewind it and watch it again because I got so frustrated. I got so angry because that's an unwritten rule. And you're not supposed to let somebody go hit your pitcher. You're not. I mean, Soler, he's a big dude. Don't get me wrong, but man, he was throwing haymakers. I thought, he looked like Tyson out there. He was just swinging for the home run.
Soler's no small man either.
And no, he's a big dude. But I just don't understand. Jonah Heim, you're on the clock, my friend. You are on the clock. We got a Braves insider going to be calling the show tomorrow, and we're going to be talking about the Braves tomorrow. And I'm aggravated. I'm frustrated because that's not supposed to happen. And if you know anything about baseball, you know that the catcher is supposed to not only block balls, not only frame balls, not only try to throw people out, but he's supposed to be a protector of the pitcher.
And if anybody in the ballpark knew it was coming, it was him.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably called it. Your pitching coach gave you the sign. You gave the sign to the pitch.
He knew.
You knew. And you know what potential consequences. If anybody should have been ready for that, it should have been the catcher.
Yeah. And you can't be a coward and play catcher. Like, you can't be. And, he's 30 years old. He's from Buffalo, New York. He just signed with the Braves this year. He's been playing. He's not hitting good. And the least you can do is just keep the guy from tackling or hurting your pitcher. And you know what? You know what else this would have happened?
What?
If he would have grabbed him, Soler wouldn't have gotten suspended. Lopez wouldn't have got suspended.
Yeah.
The benches still would have cleared, but it would not have had any suspensions due to him just grabbing him. Now, yeah, Soler could have tried to sling, but all he had to do was just grab him from behind. He's got his mask on.
Yeah.
There is nothing wrong. When you saw him walking, you either stand and get in front of him or you do grab him from behind. How many? You telling me Jason Varitek would have just let him go hit the rocket?
Absolutely not. And the thing is, Soler, it's not like it was like a snap of a finger. Soler walked to the front of the plate and kind of like,
yes.
And then he's seen Lopez. So at this point, you got the two guys Wild Wild West facing off,
right,
guns in holster, getting ready to do their shootout. And at this point, you got to know it's coming.
You got to.
We knew it was coming. After watching the replay, I knew it was coming. Obviously, camera was on the tag at second when it actually happened. When they showed the replay at that point, I was like, yeah, how did you not see that was coming?
Yeah, do me a favor. If you've watched the video, go back and watch it again. And just watch and put your eyes on Jonah Helm, the catcher for the Braves. And you'll see that he was not tuned in to what was going on. You're an embarrassment to the Tomahawk. You make me so frustrated because there's no possible way. You could have helped prevent all of this. All you've got to do, if you go back and watch, all you got to do is type it in on your browser, on YouTube, and you type in catchers stopping batters from charging the mound.
Do you think?
I'm telling you, there's a plethora of videos.
Do you think Baldwin does anything as a rookie? Do you think that he stands by? Do you think?
Well, I would hope so.
I would hope so. I'm just wondering.
Are we living in a time where now these guys are scared of the guys that are charging? I mean, you gotta. You know what, Brandon? Okay, so you, Bone Crusher, whatever. If there's somebody that I know is about to charge you, and we're out somewhere, I'm going to do everything I can.
Man, I got your back too, man. Don't worry.
To deflect the problem.
Yeah.
Hey, man, hold on. No. Hold on. You know what I mean? I'm stepping in front. I'm pushing you. I'm holding you. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm trying to be there. These guys are teammates. These guys have been in spring training. These guys, he's caught him before a lot probably this spring. There's no way. And you know what? You can say, well, Jonah Helm is not – he's not Spanish, so he doesn't know the language. Believe me,
I've
been around.
You know tone.
I've been around Hispanic people. I know when things are being said that are not nice.
Yeah.
And you could tell, just like you said, when you watched the video, you could tell something was going on. And it's absolutely disgusting. You don't need to ever. And you know what? If you know, when I coach baseball, we don't talk about that. But when you get older, if you're a catcher and you're playing baseball and you're, I'd say, 11th, 12th grade, I guarantee you know what? The next high school coach we have come on for baseball in the area, whether it's Coach Doug Lee, whether it's Coach Jones over at Arnold, or any of the other coaches, I'm going to ask them. And you know what? I would ask the football coaches. I'm going to ask the basketball coaches. Now, what do you tell your kids to do? Obviously, you tell them don't lose their head. But what are you going to do if somebody else on the other team is attacking your teammate? I mean, it's only fair. You're only supposed to do. These guys make all this money, and I'll tell you this. I guarantee you that had that been Acuna or Riley or Olsen, these guys that are – I guarantee you
they're paying their
they'll
fines.
pay the fine for them.
Thanks for coming out. Thanks for helping me. Thanks for being my brother. Thanks for being my
yes,
teammate.
My
Thanks for
teammate.
having my back. I mean, yeah, write a couple fines, couple $15,000, $20,000 checks. I mean, come on now. To these guys that are making, I mean, I would say $1 million a game, but they play way too many games. But you know, they make hefty game checks, and it's almost every day, every other day they're collecting one. So yeah, it would be nothing for one of those superstars to do that. And I thought about that as well. Yes, Lopez is in our starting rotation. He's one of ours. But what if that would have been Strider? What if that would have been, anybody?
Sale.
Chris Sale. What if that would have been them? Is he still not protecting
He
them?
better.
That's
Chris Sale's old. He can't do anything.
So, I wonder situational. I'm not sure. I'm not sitting here giving the guy the benefit of the doubt, because if that would have been me, or if I would my teammates, I'd be extremely disappointed.
Bone Culture, if somebody was trying to attack me and you had the opportunity to deflect, wouldn't you do it? I mean, wouldn't you have my back?
His name is John C. I got you, bro. This is a tag team matchup. This isn't MLB. This is WWE.
Let's go.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. And so there's no possible way, as I'm looking, I see Heim catching on there. I just, I'm going to have to send a message to the Braves, because this guy, he's not hitting good. Wait till Sean Murphy would not have allowed it to happen. No. Sean Murphy's a big dude.
Yeah.
He would have grabbed him. He would have turned and got in front of him. There's so many things you could have done. And you know what? If he would have done that, and I know I'm being repetitive here, but if he would have done that, I believe both teams probably would not have had long suspensions.
No, maybe a couple games. I mean, if you charge the mound, I think at minimum that probably should be a 1-game suspension.
At least, yeah.
Just at minimum. So, yeah, maybe not 7. Maybe 1 or 2.
Yeah, but punches were thrown.
Yeah, exactly.
And punches might have not been thrown had he had stopped them.
Yeah, I agree.
Had he had stepped in front of him and said, hey, man, hold on. Wait. What does that do? That also gives
the bench time to get out there to help
split
divide.
It up. Yes. Yeah. Instead of having these guys squaring up one-on-one right here in the between.
I liked it. They were
both bobbing and weaving.
Let's go.
Yeah, they were bobbing and weaving for sure.
Man.
But, I mean, it looks like, they're still in the bottom of the 4th, so it's not. There hadn't been anything. The Braves are up 5-2, by the way, not because of Jonah Heim, but because of Matt Olson hit a home run here just a moment ago. But either way, I don't know. Most hated Braves player for me, Jonah Heim. I don't know if you noticed that or not, but
I could tell as of today that he is at the top of your list on that.
Yeah, and I think he's probably had his name called more times today than he's ever had in his life on one radio show, I would say.
He's probably right. He needs to probably watch this back after this game and kind of do some self-meditation and kind of self-reflecting and straighten this out.
You don't go on his Twitter and bully him, because he's probably not, his wife might text you and tell him to stop. But anyway, as we get on to our next break, when we come back, we're going to talk with Brandon about the March Madness Championship game. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Dan Patrick Show.
You know, I'm watching the game, and I found myself rooting for South Carolina because of the way they played. They were playing great. They were playing hard. But if UConn won and continued to win, you know, and then matched up with UCLA, I would have been fine with that.
It's the Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings from 9 till 11. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Anna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Wednesday's weather forecast. A mixture of light sprinkles and mostly clouds the rest of the day with temps near 75 and a wind 15 to 20 miles per hour. A variety of partly cloudy skies and very light rain tonight, a moderate breeze and a temperature of 60. About the same tomorrow, around 77 with mostly sunshine. Sunny Friday and very warm around 77. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
With over 4 decades in business, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to take your collection to the next level. All new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia and supplies, new and vintage cards and Pokemon. Buy, sell, and trade. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards inside the Stanford Station on 23rd Street next to Academy Sports. Come see the bigger store and the larger inventory, or visit online, instantReplaySportsCards.com.
When it comes to building smart and roofing right, TK Vandy's is the name you can trust. They're your go-to for general contracting, design build solutions, and top quality roofing. From concept to completion, they deliver excellence on time and on budget. Whether it's a custom build or a complex renovation, they've got you covered, literally. Call TK Vandy today and build something better together. TK Vandy, built with purpose, roofed with pride.
Now, taking your collection to the next level. It's the Instant Replay Sports Cards Box Break. With Aaron Bearden on ESPN Northwest Florida.
We are live and local right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, your spot for the Orlando Magic. Don't forget, tonight's tip-off is at 6 o'clock. And don't forget, you can call in and be a part of the show, 850-215-6290. We are pumped up on this beautiful Wednesday right here in Panama City Beach. And on the phone line, we've got from Instant Replay Sports Cards, Aaron Bearden. Aaron, how are you today, my friend?
Oh, I'm excellent. How about you guys?
We're doing really good. Aren't you glad that baseball season's going? I mean, really, it's finally on. It's on at night. You see it all over the TV during the day, during the night. It's just great. I love baseball.
I love it. It's the only one of the major team sports that I follow. So, yeah, it finally feels like sports are back, you know.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I love it. I love it all. Obviously, I love football, but I know that, earlier first segment, we really talked about the Braves last night playing the Angels, in which they're playing right now. Braves are up 5-2 in the bottom of the fourth. Did you see the fight last night?
I did, a few times.
So let me ask you this. Bone Crusher is on the other side of the token from me and Brandon. Does fighting have its place in baseball?
I get the frustrations, particularly, Soler had homered and then gotten hit and then kind of the brushback. I get that. I get feeling the need to protect himself. I disagree with a pundit I saw earlier who was like, oh, this is great. I love seeing fighting in baseball. Look, you don't see these people get injured.
Right.
And, somebody runs out there to break something up and they get knocked over and they're out for 3 months or something, with some kind of injury that was totally unnecessary. So, I'm kind of torn about it. If I was Jorge Soler and I got beamed and, all that, yeah, I'd probably lose my temper too.
Yeah.
As a fan of the sport, man, you'd hate to see your team's best player get a season-ending injury from something like that, where it's like, look, is this necessary?
Yeah, and it's happened before. I mean, it has happened before where they've gotten injured. And, one of the most memorable plays in Major League Baseball history was when Robin Ventura charged the mound on Nolan Ryan. That's something that will always be in the history. And then, you know, all of that. And you know, you remember people getting aggravated. Bo Jackson breaking the bat over his own head, you know, breaking it over his leg, all of those things. But,
sure.
I don't know if you –
Jose
Yeah, go ahead.
Jose Bautista and Rudy Odor.
Yeah, that's the one that I remember the most. I actually just looked that one up. I was like, that one I remember punches being landed.
Yeah, that was landed.
Yeah. Rudy was not playing. I mean, this last night, Jorge Soler started out with a couple of focus punches and then just kind of went into that sort of arm-swinging mode that, a lot of these guys do. The adrenaline's pumped up, but they're not trained combatants.
No.
So
the only one that was
start flying.
The only one that was trained was Walt Weiss, and with the double leg takedown, that was fantastic. I mean, that looked really good. But I don't know if you were listening before you came on, but can you tell me what the catcher's job is when his pitcher seems like someone is about to get hit or is about to charge the mound?
I mean, to me, if I was a pitcher, you'd like that catcher to maybe kind of run up and sort of diffuse things. Maybe
be nice
if he can, kind of put an arm around the guy and go, "Hey, man, look, it's it ain't worth all that. We didn't mean to do it." You definitely would hate to think the catcher stands there and watches while this guy just comes and bowls you over.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened. Jonah Heim, I didn't say his name again. I promised I was off of it, but I just got fired back up again. Jonah Heim, the catcher that's batting .091 after his fly ball to Mike Trout in left field today. He stood by and watched. He did nothing. He just stood there, and I'm done with him. I'm ready for – I'm going to start a webpage, cutjonahheim.com. That's what we're going to do.
Now, speaking of Mike Trout, you want to talk about, being a teammate, man, look up a few years ago, I believe it was Yordano Ventura, who has since passed.
Mm-hmm.
Ventura was, I believe he was throwing at Trout. And this was back when Albert Pujols was with the Angels. Pujols was on second base. And I believe Ventura was trying to start something with Trout. And I think he sort of came off the mound like he was going to go, confront Trout. Pujols comes off second base.
Yes.
Behind him. And it's like, man, these two guys they're like brothers. You're not about to get to take it out on Mike Trout. First of all, notwithstanding that Yordano Ventura was, I don't know, like 5'9" and 150 pounds or something like that. I mean, both these guys are giants compared to him. But it's like that's what you want is you want your guy on second coming in behind that pitcher to stop him if you're the batter that you're the franchise player.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
And that's exactly, yes, Lopez is not, but he's your catcher. I mean, he's your pitcher. You've caught him in the spring. You're catching him right now. It's your job to protect your pitcher as a catcher.
Sure, you're with him all the way, or else why should he ever count on you? That's why you see the guys coming out of the bullpen and stuff and those kind of bench clearing things. It's like, look, man, that's our guy out there. We got to go support him, even if he's charging the mound for something stupid or whatever. Even if our guy, we know he intentionally hit that guy 2 times in a row.
Yes.
We still got to go out there and make a showing. Yeah, and if nothing else, you got to go out there and maybe try to calm some people down, break some stuff up, stop somebody from getting hurt, really.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing, because I don't believe anybody wanted to get hurt, but I do believe that had Heim stepped in and kind of allowed the benches to clear to get to the field, I think it would have probably been a lot less punches thrown, a lot less problems. And so that's the other part of it. Yeah, he could have slung him off. He could have ensued with a fight with him right there. But you know what? You're wearing all the gear. That's your job. That's what you're supposed to do. You got to be there for your pitcher. And, if you can't tell, I am so disappointed in Jonah Heim. He's from Buffalo. I mean, and their mantra is they're tough. They play in the cold. They jump through tables at their when they're doing their what's it called? Their tailgating.
Yeah.
The Buffalo Bills fans and the Buffalo people are supposed to be all this tough and all this and rugged and all that, but this guy not so much.
He kind of gave him a bad name.
Hey, when you're from a place where they offer free tickets to the game, if you'll come and shovel the snow
Yes.
out
Right on.
yeah, I mean, you probably are expected to be built a little bit different from everybody else.
That's a great point.
I will say that he could have diffused that with Jorge Soler probably by just saying the word snow. That probably would shut Soler down. I don't know if you guys, how much you know. You probably saw Soler like he was when he was with Atlanta for a while, right?
Yeah.
A little bit off and on. I remember my boy Soler coming up with the Cubs at the end of 2014. And playing in Chicago, if the temperature got below 72, Jorge Soler was covered head to toe in this thermal blue thing, Cubs blue. He looked like he was in the Blue Man Group, and it was just his eyes peeking out. He's from down there, like in the Caribbean, I do believe.
Oh yeah, yes.
I don't know exactly where, but he did not handle cold well at all.
Yeah, it sounds like he wasn't built for that Chicago weather.
No, not a bit. And like I say, big games where it wasn't even really cold, and he's bundled up like they're playing in the Arctic.
Oh my gosh! Well, that's crazy, but yeah, that's good. Yeah, he could have just said the word snow, and he probably would have stopped. So, Aaron, what do you got going on? What's coming out in the card market? Obviously, we know that Topps football is about to get started soon. Give us a rundown of what's going on.
Yeah, Chrome football is coming out. Bowman basketball is coming out. Topps is really trying to tackle all the sports and non-sports at one time. That's a pretty big piece to bite off and chew all at once. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully these different releases come out without any major gaffes in them. But at the same time, Leaf's got some really interesting stuff coming out very soon. Leaf is going to start doing pack-based products, which if you're familiar with Leaf cards, that has not been their strategy for a while. They've been doing those boxes where it's like 5 cards, 5 autos, that sort of thing. The jumbo boxes, 10 cards, 10 autos. Leaf's going to start doing stuff where it's just packs and you get like an auto every pack.
Wow.
So it's going to be interesting. It's going to make it a little more affordable to kind of dip your toes in and test out the Leaf line of products.
I will say this, one of the Topps Chrome that I did see the other day, somebody did pull a redemption card that said you get 2 free tickets to the World Series.
What?
Yeah. So that was something that just got pulled, and it would not surprise me, and Aaron, you would know whether or not it wouldn't surprise you, that if they don't do the same thing for the Super Bowl when they come out with their new Topps football.
Sure, yeah. In the Topps baseball, everybody has been, all following that Mantle card, but there were several MLB teams that also committed to doing some sort of one-on-one experience.
Wow.
Those redemptions are in there. Tickets to the World Series, the All-Star Game, several things like that are in there also.
Wow.
So it's not just the one Mantle card. There's a lot of really cool things in there. And, yes, you're right. I do expect some Super Bowl tickets and, maybe some Pro Bowl, that sort of thing to be in there as well that you can win. Fanatics does seem to like those experiences almost as much as just the cards themselves. So, yeah, I think they're trying to put those opportunities out there for people to go and do and see those things.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I mean, because just entry tickets into a Super Bowl, what is that, like $20,000?
Yeah, it's pretty
high. To have 2 tickets to a Super Bowl, $40,000. I mean, that's an experience that's tough for you to buy, even if given the opportunity.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
sure.
I find that to be pretty awesome. Aaron, as far as the Topps Chrome football coming out, and along with most of all of Topps Chrome products, are they going to be doing the buybacks like they do in baseball? Have they announced anything as such?
Nothing specific. I'm sure it's going to be, the MVP of the league at the end of the season.
Yeah.
So in football, it's kind of wide open because you've got one MVP.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
So,
and then you have offensive and defensive player of the year, rookie of the year, things of that nature.
And if baseball is any indication, they will limit it to just the MVP.
Yeah.
But, that race is very often wide open in football, and week 12, 13, 14, we're still trying to figure out who it's going to be, and sometimes that's not clear until maybe the final game or two of the season.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I know that they're having their big deal in Arizona, and that's supposed to be a big deal going on right now. And but also, I think, is it the UFC or the WWE with WrestleMania around the corner? Aren't they coming out with some new stuff too?
Yeah. You got WrestleMania next couple of weeks.
Yes.
A week and a half, something like that from now. Yeah, so they'll have a presence there as well.
So what do you have going on at the shop this week and this weekend?
Yes, we got Kids Club Friday night, and bring those kids out 6 o'clock on Friday. They're going to have the time of their life, breaking packs and trading with the other kids and hanging out and having a good time and taking a bunch of cards home. Saturday, we got the breaks in store at noon. A lot of hobby boxes going to be getting cracked open there. It's a good chance to kind of get in and see what some of these products are all about without having to buy the full box. Then Pokemon League at 4 o'clock on Saturday. So, and then gearing up for next week is Rip Night.
Wow.
So there's going to be a lot going on.
Yeah, you've got a lot of stuff going on. Give us the address and the hours of operation, Aaron.
Certainly. 752 West 23rd Street. That's in the Stanford Station. That's right down from Academy Sports, right next to Sweet Frog, El Jalisco, Chick-fil-A, all that happening right out here in the parking lot. And 7 days a week, 11 to 8 Monday to Friday, 10 to 8 Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sunday. You can find it all at InstantReplaySportsCards.com.
And you have not just cards, you've got the memorabilia, you've got all the movie memorabilia, you've got all kinds of stuff there. So it's not just cards.
Oh, yeah. And just added more to it this week.
Can you tell us anything? Can you tell us anything that you got? Give us a little bit. Come on. What do you got?
Yeah, I just went last weekend and got some stuff signed by Alan Tudyk, who movie fans may recognize from shows like Firefly and Resident Alien, and also he's in a bunch of Disney stuff. He was Hey the chicken in Moana, and he was the big droid K2SO in Star Wars Rogue One. He's in all sorts of stuff. So we got some things signed by him, and got some new stuff put out that we just had not had out before.
And Paul, Aaron's also has penny sleeves. The 9 slots to go in your binder. So if you're collecting, not only a good place to buy cards, but to buy supplies for your nice collections.
Yeah.
He's got all of that there. So if you're looking for penny sleeves or binders or the nine slots, for your binders, I mean, he's got all of that stuff there too. I have bought plenty of penny sleeves and things like that from Aaron for all of my collective cards. So if you're looking for that stuff, he's got all that product as well.
Top loaders and magnetic one-touches and all that kind of fun stuff. Team bags, rated bags, one-touch bags. Yep, all that stuff.
And you buy collections, right? And you still buy collections.
If
you got something that you want Aaron to look at, maybe just to give you an idea of what it might be worth or what it sold for the last time. Or if you're interested, you might find out that he might want to buy all your stuff from you.
Yep, that always happens. We've been buying stuff all day long.
That sounds great. Well, Aaron, we want you to have a great weekend, and I'm sure you will with all those people there having some fun opening those cards and getting to be a part of all what's going on in the card industry. So, Aaron, thank you so much. Have a great weekend, my friend.
See you, Aaron.
Absolutely. You guys take care. Be good. Be safe. Everybody out there, come see us.
Yes, sir. Well, Aaron Bearden with Instant Replay Sports Cards right over there by the Sweet Frog in Panama City. Go see them over there. They'll take great care of you. When we come back, we are going to talk a little bit more about Major League Baseball and some things going on right now. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
The wait is over.
That is gone!
Catch Ronald Acuna Jr., Matt Olson, Austin Riley, and all the boys as the Atlanta Braves look to reclaim the East.
A walk-off home run, and the Braves win it.
Follow the journey to October right here. Your official home for the Atlanta Braves on the Gulf Coast.
Man, oh man, is he playing some baseball.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Crawfish season is back, and the heat is on at Lone Star Boil House. Lone Star Boil House is where the locals go for delicious, mouth-watering Cajun crawfish, shrimp, buttery red royals, and everything crab. Plus, Lone Star Boil House is now serving liquor. Get crawfish 6 days a week, open to close. To-go crawfish also available at the front bar, and crush the follow on Facebook for frequent food and drink specials. Lone Star Boil House, 320 West 5th Street, downtown Panama City.
That boot store can help you dress in style, from casual Western wear for a night out with family and friends to a special meeting that requires a fashion touch with Western flair. From boots to hats, belts to shirts to jeans, and a lot more for the smallest of the largest in name brand Western attire, including Carhartt work clothes. Shop that boot store for the whole family. Open Tuesday through Thursday 9 to 5, Friday and Saturday 9 to 5:30. Next to Billboard Kia, 15th Street, Panama City, where God is good all the time.
Get ready to connect. ESPN Northwest Florida is proud to welcome and feature the newest additions to our Panama City Beach Chamber family.
Welcome to the Beach Chamber, Nexa Lending, Maria Svereniak, PJ's Coffee House of New Orleans, Smoothie King, the Octa Collection, and Nathan's Famous.
Step in, grow, and connect with the community that celebrates your achievements.
Congratulations from ESPN Northwest Florida
And the Panama City Beach Chamber of Commerce, reaching Bay County and beyond.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida gets results. Here's Brandon Strickland from Recommended Collision Center, Jinx Avenue in Panama City.
At Recommended Collision Center, we're all about taking care of our community, and advertising on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida has helped us do just that. Social media ads were getting stale, but the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson gave us a fresh way to reach local customers. We've seen more vehicles coming in for estimates, more phone calls, and more people recognizing our name. It's been a great partnership for our business, pairing up with 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
To see how 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida can help grow your business, go to ESPNPC.com and click the contact button. Get your message heard and cut through the clutter. Go to ESPNPC.com and click the contact button.
Some people say our opinions are toxic. We say they're just a little terminal. The Sports Blitz.
This malpractice committee has received a few complaints against you.
On 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. We are live and local right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. This is the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson, and we're so glad you joined us today. Whether you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or if you listen on the radio, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Go on the Facebook or YouTube and comment, like, share, subscribe, all of those things. Go ahead and download the ESPN Northwest Florida app as well. And if you want to be a part of the show, you can be 850-215-6290. And then don't forget, tonight after the show, 6 o'clock is the tip-off for the Orlando Magic right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We're going to go ahead and go to the phone line. We've got Big Nate on the line. Nate, thanks for being patient, my friend. How are you doing today?
We're doing great, folks. You know, I'm up here at Bozeman dropping off my bus because I drive those kids around. They've tore up the football field. They're making a new football field for the Bozeman football Bucks, and I'm really excited about football next year. But that being said, there were some questions I had about Major League Baseball.
Okay, yes.
And here's the kind of remember how I was talking about Major League Baseball and people talking about caps and what have you?
Yeah.
Just the other day I was giving them what for.
Yeah.
Well, I may have maybe bit off a little too soon because I didn't understand just how rare these positions are. Okay? Out of the 64,000 collegiate players every year, 64,000. They are all striving to make a team, correct?
Yes.
in some capacity. Now, obviously, the farm system, using college players to go through and get some experience and stuff, that's great. But what the scouts are looking for are at least 1,500 plate appearances if you're a batter, okay, or pitcher. That means 1,500 pitches or more. And you're only vying for, all right, now get this, 780 starting positions. Okay?
Yes.
30 teams, 26 players on a starting roster for that team. Now, of those 26, only 9 are going to start.
Right.
So that's only 270 players that start in a day if they all play. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy talk when you've got a pool of 64,000, right? Roughly, 20, I think they said it was, oh my gosh, I was getting into the numbers on how many schools play baseball. And it's just insane. Of that 64,000, you're looking at like 12,573 different schools between college all the way up into junior college and Pony League or whatever. And that's not even touching the tip of the iceberg, because then you've got Division II, basically MLB2, with all of their teams they got there, and the third. So there's another 780 and another. So, I mean, but still, for you to become a baseball player in the major leagues, and the average age of a Major League Baseball player right now is 28. So if you go to 4 years of school, you've got basically 6 years to get to the top position in Major League Baseball from what you play.
Exactly.
Which is insane to me. That's like playing the lottery, dude. I mean, you have to be super good.
And the fact is that it's not just the college kids either. It is kids from other countries that they have scouts all over the world
Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Venezuela, all of those.
Yeah, so Big Red, I want to give you, I just looked it up real quick. This is off NCAA.org, and y'all are right. So it's not just kids coming out of American colleges. You have, not to worry about it, but your talent pool is massive. You got guys like Shohei and Yamamoto and Suzuki coming from, straight out of the Japan League. You've got the Dominican League, the Puerto Rican League. I mean, you have all of these. But just from the NCAA.org, this is from, I think, the 2002 2023, so it's a couple years old. But high school participants, as far as college baseball, 478,000 kids come out of high school ready to go play college baseball. Now, NCAA participants, the kids out of that make that, 38,000.
Wow. Right
now. Overall percentage, high school to NCAA, that's only 8.1%, and then from high school to the Division I is 2.4%. So of that 8.1, only 2.4 is making Division I, 2.4 is making Division II, and 3.2 is making Division III.
Wow.
So, I mean, that's just here in high school kids, and you start to broaden it to international, you're right, man. I think baseball is the hardest sport to go professional in just because of the amount of competition and the way it's played, worldwide.
Right. No, absolutely. And you don't have that same kind of world presence yet in football. You do in basketball, but not to the extent that baseball has.
No, exactly.
So, I mean, the fact is that when they're asking to not have a cap, they want to be paid the most. That's because they're driving the price up because of the competition that's coming after them. That means they have to be so good to warrant that top level money. Now, in football, you see it with quarterbacks that have a mind like Brady. They don't take all the money from the team. They'll take a smaller contract to get a good team around them so that they can win Super Bowls.
Yeah,
now,
that's true.
If they can get that same mentality, like, hey, let's spread the funds around, let's get the best players we can, but not break the bank, then we can win some games and maybe, you know, have a dynasty like the Dodgers do. I mean, how many players on the Dodgers are being paid, you know, tens of millions of dollars?
Dude, so many.
A lot of them. But let me ask you this. You know, when you look at it, these guys, okay, let's just say they deserve it because of how hard they work. But at the end of the day, if you don't do it every year, year in, year out, you get cut. It can go away. So these guys are saying, I'm in my prime. I'm trying to get as much as I can get right now because Father Time is coming, and it's coming very soon.
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing that they've got to fight against is getting too old.
Yes.
I mean, it's not like you have, you know, the guy from the Carl. God, I can't remember his name now. Played for the Orioles, junior. Like he played like 30 years of baseball. It was crazy.
Kyle Ripken.
Kyle Ripken. Yes, thank you. I mean, that was the big name in my day. That he was like Joe Flacco of baseball.
Yeah, he wouldn't go away.
He was the Phillip Rivers of baseball.
For sure.
mean, oh, man. You know, I'm trying to get into baseball. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's not my favorite sport, but it's very intriguing to see just how much goes into it.
Oh, yeah, it's hard. It's a hard sport.
And one of my favorite films is Moneyball with Brad Pitt.
Yeah, yep, that's a good one.
And I liken that to the same way that the Seahawks run their business. It's a lot of Moneyball play right now.
Yeah, and Jeffrey likes Moneyball because he likes Brad Pitt, not because of the baseball story.
Have you seen his son?
He's not here. Jeffrey's not here, so I have to say that.
Oh, okay. Well, have you tell him to go find Brad Pitt's son. He is a clone.
Oh, my gosh.
They literally cloned Brad Pitt.
I can't.
He looks just like Brad. I mean, could be a twin.
I can't.
Literally.
I can't.
Tom Brady cloned his dog. I wouldn't doubt it that Brad Pitt cloned his son. I mean, their capabilities are there.
He does some freaky stuff. So, I mean.
Oh, my gosh. All right, Nate. Well, we appreciate it, my friend. We want you to have a great day.
I'll call you next time on the Sports Blitz.
Thank you, Nate. We appreciate you. We're going to go ahead and go straight to the line. We've got Steve from PCB on the line. Steve, how you doing today, my friend?
Good. How are you guys?
We're doing fantastic.
You're talking about baseball. We went over to Tallahassee last night to watch the rivalry game. The Florida State played baseball, and it was just cool. There was a lot of local talent there in the Florida bullpen were Eli Blair and Cooper Moss, the two Arnold prospects. Over in the Tallahassee dugout was a Cam Odom from Cottondale, Braxton Barnes from South Walton, and then the guy pitching from Florida State pitched at Gulf Coast last year. So it's cool to see a lot of panhandle, local Bay County-type connections playing in that game last night.
You're exactly right. And, you know, one of the guys that has been on the show as well as with Cooper and Eli as well was Ethan Hess, who runs a pitching facility over here on the beach side. And, you know, he trained all those guys. So, yes, a lot of talent coming out of Bay County and being represented good. What'd you think about the game? Because I know Florida, they have been struggling a little bit as of late, but they swept the series. So I'm pretty happy about that.
So my son is Cooper Moss, who plays for Florida. So we have seen a lot of games over the season. We have not missed many. Matter of fact, we try to even get some of the road games. So we watched Florida. It is a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type team
yes.
where they go to Arkansas and sweep the number 4 team. You're like, all right. And then they go and lose 2 out of 3 to Ole Miss. And even a weekday game against Jacksonville, you're like, oh, man, maybe this team isn't that good. Then they go to Florida State, who's ranked 5 on the road, and beat them. So, unfortunately, even Coach Sully will say this team is very inconsistent, unfortunately. But they travel to play Georgia this weekend. Florida does. Georgia's, I think, ranked 4. So we'll see again if they're for real this weekend when Florida travels to Georgia.
Well, and you know, Steve, as well as I do, when those big games come up, it's such a high, especially when you know that they're ranked like that. So it would not surprise me if those Gators stand up and do the business. How is Eli doing? How is Cooper doing as far as going into their first year?
Good question. I will say this, as a parent of a Division I baseball athlete, I'm convinced it is harder now than it has ever been for a true freshman to get significant playing time out of Power 4.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the portal, Cooper says, Dad, there's guys on the team that are 23 and 24 years old. He said 2 of the guys are married. And so when you're a 19-year-old coming out of high school, even if you are a stud player, it's awful tough because you're competing with guys, again, that are older, bigger, more experienced, and I think just baseball in general is trending to an older player. If you look at Georgia, I believe they have 1 true freshman on their roster.
Wow.
South Carolina, when we played them, had 3. Why would you go with a 19-year-old freshman out of high school when you can go in the portal, like Florida does, like a lot of the big programs, get 3 or 4 pitchers that are older and have already pitched 3 years? So to answer your question, Cooper and Eli are true freshmen battling for playing time, but they have said it's tougher than I think they anticipated to see the field just because they're competing with older, more seasoned, more experienced guys.
You're so right, and it looks like basketball and football is doing the same thing with Indiana and Michigan. If you look at both of their rosters on that spectrum as well, it's a bunch of older guys, and that's exactly what college sports has come to. Well, Steve, we're bumped up against a break. Thank you so much for calling in, and I appreciate you, sir.
Appreciate you guys. Take care.
Yes, sir. When we come back, we are going to be talking with David Waters of the Gators Breakdown, and we're going to talk about Gator Spring Football. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Anna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Wednesday's weather forecast. A mixture of light sprinkles and mostly clouds the rest of the day with temps near 75 and a wind 15 to 20 miles per hour. A variety of partly cloudy skies and very light rain tonight, a moderate breeze and a temperature of 60. About the same tomorrow, around 77 with mostly sunshine. Sunny Friday and very warm around 77. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
For over 50 years, Coin & Bullion Reserve's fine jewelry has been your diamond headquarters, a local trusted source for diamonds and fine jewelry. And now, get ready for our largest diamond jewelry sale ever, 30 to 75% off. For one day only, Saturday, April 25th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. When our doors open, diamonds move fast. Don't miss out. Coin & Bullion Reserve's fine jewelry, your diamond headquarters on the corner of 15th Street and East Avenue.
Looking to upgrade your truck? It's Blue Diamond Truck Accessories in Panama City. They sell, service, and install it all. Light kits, bed covers, bumpers, winches, lift kits, and any trailer hitch you can imagine. Blue Diamond Truck Accessories, just west of Frankfort Avenue on 15th Street. Find Blue Diamond Truck Accessories on Facebook or call 850-914-0265. Blue Diamond Truck Accessories, 850-914-0265.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVOQ Port St. Joe. ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida advertisers get results.
Hi, this is Todd from PCB Hobby on Back Beach. Advertising with ESPN Northwest Florida has been a wonderful experience. Their staff is very knowledgeable and friendly. If you want to talk with customers like you never thought possible, reach out to the team at ESPN Northwest Florida, 850-215-4468.
Get results for your business. Call ESPN Northwest Florida, 850-215-4468.
Panama City, Lynn Haven, Callaway, 30A, Santa Rosa, Freeport, Mexico Beach, Port St. Joe, Youngstown, Blancstown, and Yorktown. The Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson.
The locals love it.
Dominating that dial at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
What it do, people? It's the homie Lil Cash. Right now you tuned in with Paul Wilson on the Sports Blitz. 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida. The hottest sports show in the South. Let's go. Cause Lil Cash with another hit with Paul Wilson on the Sports Blitz. Where they talk trash and they talk ish. When it comes to sports, man, they too legit. It's 104.3 ESPN. If you love sports, better chime in. NFL, college, local sports, they got it. NBA, they got it. Sports Blitz, the topic. The show hottest wasabi. Better tune in and go watch it. Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson. If you even tried, you can't stop it. Bone Crusher gon' pop it. No Jeff gon' pop it. Go like, comment, subscribe, and share. Right now.
We are live and local right here at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida, your spot for the Orlando Magic. Don't forget tonight, right after the show, 6 o'clock, tip-off, the Magic in the NBA right here at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida. Today's microphone is sponsored by Humbert Diesel and Auto Repair at 1504 County Road 390 in Lynn Haven. Their phone number is 850-630-0766. If you have any problems or if you just want to get your vehicle checked up, if you've got a diesel, they know exactly how to do it. Diesels are a different animal. It's different than the gassers for sure. You don't want to have somebody working on your diesel that don't know what they're doing. And Humbert Diesel are the guys that know what they're doing. Again, 1504 County Road 390 in Lynn Haven, Florida. Also 850-630-0766. They're in a good mood too because they're all Michigan fans. So go ahead and give them a call if you've got any questions about your vehicle. We're here with Tennessee Brandon, he's in the house. Bone Crusher's here. And now we're joined by David Waters of the Gators Breakdown. David, how are you doing today, my friend?
Doing well. Counting down the last few days of spring practice for Florida and the Orange and Blue game on Saturday. So last little bit of football till we hit the fall.
Yeah, we're excited about it, and that's why we had you come on. We appreciate you doing that, making time for us and coming on and giving us some insight on what's going on with the Gator program. If you look at it, a couple of weeks ago, I had Coach Summerall on the show. We were talking about, obviously, the quarterback position. We've talked about just what's his message to the fans. What have you seen as far as, let's go ahead and dive right into it. What have you seen with the quarterback position? Because he tipped his hand a little bit in the interview, at least as what my opinion was, is the fact that Philo is the guy coming in. He's more familiar. He makes good decisions. He can make all the throws. Those were the things that he said to describe him. Jones was another one that he described as being very athletic, had explosive playability and that. But he did have a lot of bubbly connotation about Will Griffin and about the big arm that he's got. So give us what you've been seeing, what you've been hearing about the Gator quarterback position with all of these practices. I know they've only given the media about 45 minutes a day to see them. What have you heard?
Yeah, not much that we get to see either in the pure 11 on 11. Either. So, it's about as much as you can glean from 45 minutes, like you said. And, I mean, look, it is a true competition between Aaron Philo and Tramel Jones. I thought it was probably a closer bit of a competition than I thought when Philo came in because I put a big gap on the having familiarity with Buster Faulkner, the offensive coordinator from Georgia Tech. And Tramel Jones picked up the playbook pretty fast and got ingrained in that. But I think what's going to be the separator when it's all said and done, Aaron Philo has taken real game reps, real game snaps with Buster Faulkner as offensive coordinator. So I think, behind the scenes and in the film room and all that, I think they are pretty even. But I think when it's, maybe we'll get to see a little bit of it Saturday, but when it's 3rd and 7 and there's a crowd, I think that's going to be the separator because Aaron Philo has done it. And so I think Tramel Jones is still firmly in it. I think it's a close quarterback competition. I believe Coach Summerall and Buster Faulkner when they say this is a legit competition. And I think from asking and talking around, there hasn't been much separation throughout spring practice. And I think the last scrimmage this past Saturday, Aaron Philo probably did look the better of the two, but it might be depending on what day. It might be depending on who you're talking to. It's eye of the beholder. One's going to say the other guy. Another guy's going to say it's the other one. And some will say, hey, I can't tell you which one looked better. So I think it's a pretty close battle. But I think we're bringing Aaron Philo in. It gives Florida a pretty good safety net at the quarterback spot.
And see, that's the biggest thing. You've got, I've got Tennessee Brandon here. They're going a little bit about the same way. Alabama right now is going through the same thing. They've got two guys that they haven't named yet as the quarterback, and that's something that everybody, technically is kind of going through. You're going to have a lot of new quarterbacks in the SEC this year, from Missouri to LSU to Alabama to Tennessee. I mean, all across the board with the Gators as well. So with that being said, is there any of the other positions that, maybe is taking a back seat but is a really interesting competition going on right now?
I would say that's what's going to help whoever wins this quarterback battle because Florida's loaded at the skill spots. I mean, Florida is, you start looking at their 3 starting wide receivers, who should be their 3 starting wide receivers as long as Dallas Wilson's healthy. But you throw in Dallas Wilson, you throw in VB3, Vernell Brown III, and then, of course, the big transfer, Eric Singleton Jr., who played with Buster Faulkner as his offensive coordinator at Georgia Tech, spent last year at Auburn, took a step back, but we all kind of know the situations at Auburn, to maybe where a receiver wasn't going to be put on a pedestal there because of some bad quarterback play. So he gets reunited with Buster Faulkner here at Florida. He talked about it last week. I was like, yeah, this guy just knows how to use me, and I'm excited to get paired back up with him. And then you got Jaden Ball at running back, and one of the SEC's, one of the country's best running backs as well. So I think whoever wins this quarterback spot, I mean, Tramel Jones talked about it a couple of weeks ago. I just got to be a point guard. You just got to not mess it up. And, of course, a lot's going to hinge on the offensive line as well. There's a lot of questions there, kind of musical chairs as they figure out those 5 starting offensive linemen that they want. But you think if you can get a base level there and at the quarterback spot, you've got some skill play. And the deep receiver room, I think, as well. They brought in Bailey Stockton from Georgia Tech as well with some experience with Buster Faulkner. T.J. Abrams comes back. Micah Mays is the transfer from Wake Forest. He's from South Florida originally. They're talking him up this spring as Dallas Wilson's been hurt. He's been the guy kind of stepping in and turning heads. So Florida can go comfortably, I think 7-8 deep at the receiver spot, and you kind of just pair the skill players' potential. I think, whoever wins the quarterback job, I think it is true. Just don't mess it up.
Yeah, and you know how SEC football is played. It's one in the trenches. You got to be able to run the football. You got to be able to do the things that make yourself where you can get those third and short plays. So with that being said, obviously you said that offensive line is kind of a musical chairs right now. What about that defensive line? Because I've heard some people talking about a couple of guys. What have you seen on that defensive line? Because they look like they're pretty hungry.
I think pretty hungry. I think that's the right word, too, for that group. They're eager to play under Brad White, the defensive coordinator, in a more aggressive fashion than they have in the previous defensive coordinators under Billy Napier. But John Summerall talked about it yesterday, and I talked about it last week on the podcast, too. If there was a group that you had a big question coming into the spring, but now you feel better about, it's a defensive line. And John Summerall confirmed that yesterday in his press conference because somebody straight up asked him, hey, was there a question about a position group that you feel better about now? He's like, yeah, I feel better about the defensive line. I was wondering if they're SEC ready. And, through a month of spring practice, and then we'll conclude it this weekend, that he feels better about that group than he did. So Brendan Betts, Brendan Betts, he transferred from Baylor last year. He got a lot of play, and I think he's looked to as a leader now. DK Kalu transfers from Baylor this year. He's going to be counted on as well. Emmanuel Oibadejo transfers in from Jacksonville State, and they're really excited about him. 6'6", just monster. John Summerall says, you look like you create him in a video game. Then you go to edge. And you go to edge, and you got L.J. McCray, a former 5-star, who's put together his best spring. He was probably the defensive player of the first scrimmage a couple of weeks ago. And then Jaden Woods, who they had to fight tooth and nail against Texas to bring him back for his second season in Gainesville. So I do think this is a group that you do feel better about, as deep as they can go, and the potential when you pair the pass rushers with the interior of the defensive line. And don't forget Joseph Mbachu and Jeremiah McLeod. Those guys were true freshmen last year, and they're expected to take huge jumps in their second year. So I think there is more to be excited about with that group than what we thought probably a month ago.
And if you look at the experience of the coaching staff, you're talking about Brad White being from Kentucky, but you're also talking about John Summerall. And everybody, you know as well as I do, you've heard it. You've heard it probably way more than I have, but I've heard it a lot. And it's the whole referencing to Coach Summerall as a, like Billy Napier. Everybody's done it. Everybody's compared the two. But there's a difference. Billy was a wide receivers coach at Alabama. Then he went to went over to Louisiana and was their head football coach. And on the offensive side of the ball, it's a little bit different. But when you're talking about Coach Summerall, you're talking about played SEC football, whether it was at Kentucky or not, it doesn't matter. You still have to play against the teams that were tough. Being a GA there, being a GA at Georgia, being behind these guys, coaching defense in the SEC, understanding what's going on with how you've got to play. Because I don't care if you're in the 80s, the 90s, or 2000s, or now, you've got to be able to run the football in the SEC, and he understands that. How do you feel like this defense, because this defense, as good or as bad as the record was last year, this defense actually kept them closer in almost all of the games that they were close in, all because of the defense, because the offense was sputtering, obviously. How do you think this defense is going to take on his persona because of the way his intensity is, especially at practice and even when he's talking to the media?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. It is the intensity of it. I think it was a little, and maybe it had to be just because of the coaching staff. They had to be a little more relaxed. They gave up a lot of big plays. So Ron Roberts, make sure that Florida wasn't going to give up big plays.
Yeah.
and you were hoping they could replicate the November 2024 run. When they beat LSU and they beat Ole Miss, they beat Florida State and beat Tulane to end that season. They weren't able to replicate that last year. Caleb Banks got hurt. Tyreek Sapp didn't live up to expectations. And, I think we go back, and it's been quite some time since you've just been able to pinpoint a good Florida Gator defense. I think you got to go back to 2019. With Dan Mullen in his second year and Todd Grantham, you would wonder, hey, is the next step to just be an elite defense? Because they were a good defense. They didn't beat Georgia, didn't beat LSU that year, but who did? And you were just waiting for them to take that next step, that elite step. And ever since then, the defense has just fallen off the face of the earth. Florida just has not had a defense that they could rely on. And then, pretty bad under Patrick Toney and Austin Armstrong and Billy Napier's first year, and got a little better, but down, still left a lot to be desired. Not consistent to pass rush, not creating enough turnovers. So I do think the intensity is the biggest thing. That is the thing you've heard the players mention the most, is this is a more aggressive defense that fits our style. Miles Graham at linebacker is like, yeah, I'm excited for this defensive line to play more aggressive in front of me because I can run downhill now. And he's used to playing running back also, in high school. So he's ready to go hit somebody. And I think it's really just, as you said, it's that mentality of John Summerall being aggressive that he's trying to just bleed over into these players, be fast, physical, and aggressive. And I think the players are going to be, taking to that for, at least a different-looking defense. We'll see how fast it all gels together.
When you look at the schedule, we're talking with David Waters of Gators Breakdown. When you look at the schedule, David, and you see, the first two games, definitely winnable games, definitely going to win. Obviously, that second week against the Camels. I usually call them the Campbell Soups. That should be there. But either way, then you got to go to Auburn, and then you're going to have a new coach there. But Jordan Hare is Jordan Hare. I don't care who's coaching there. It's always tough to play. If that game's at night, it's always a question mark on anybody's schedule, no matter who's there. And then you play against Ole Miss. We don't know what Ole Miss is going to look like. A lot of people are picking them because they've got Trinidad coming back, all of that. But how important is it, that stretch? Because obviously we will talk about the later stretch, but that Auburn, Ole Miss, Missouri, those three back-to-back, the only one being at Auburn, all the other ones being in the swamp, how important is it going to be to get wins, to really set theirself up? Because obviously we're going to talk about the middle of that schedule and how tough it's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, for the first time in a while, Florida's not having tough opponents in the first couple of games, or first month. You don't have a Utah, you don't have a Miami opening up. You get to work in, ease into the schedule a bit. But, yeah, there's going to be a lot right in that Auburn game because you're going against a fellow first-time head coach in the SEC as well with Alex Golesh, coming from USF. And there was a lot of talk of John Summerall in Auburn before the talk of John Summerall in Florida. So there's some storylines there. And look, they went against each other a couple times, I believe, in the AAC as well with Tulane and USF. And there's some familiarity there. Florida played Byron Brown with USF last year. And so a lot of these defensive players are familiar with that as well. So, a lot's going to be hinged on that Auburn game. It's the first road game for the Gators. It's the first conference game for the Gators. Certainly a lot riding on that. And then you get to Ole Miss the next week, you return home, and that is the week after Ole Miss plays LSU in the Lane Kiffin Bowl.
Yep.
So there's a lot of drama there. Can Ole Miss get up 2 weeks in a row, on the road after just probably putting so much on the week before with Lane Kiffin returning to Oxford? And then in Missouri, as you said, that is an important three-game stretch. I mean, It's going to tell us a lot about this Gator team. Can they go and get their first conference win on the road? And you got the home game against Ole Miss. And then Missouri's just been a problem no matter who the head coach is for Florida. It's been a game that has given, Florida's had to fight tooth and nail to win or just go get embarrassed in Columbia. So it is a game you'll circle there for Florida just because it just has so many issues with Missouri. So it is an important 3-game stretch. It's not even, the toughest of opponents Florida will face, but you'll learn a lot about that team as they move toward the tougher part of the schedule with Texas and Oklahoma and Georgia not long after that.
And that's the biggest thing. That's where it's going to get crazy. Obviously, you got South Carolina after the Missouri game, and that should still be a winnable game. You don't really know what South Carolina is going to have. You don't know what injuries are going to take place. All of those things always happen. And then the 3. You got Texas, Georgia, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Back to back to back. And at Texas is tough.
Yeah. Hey, David, Tennessee Brandon over here. Since, kind of weird to me, somebody asked me today, how's it feel not to play Florida this year? And I'm like, man, I'm honestly, I'm going to miss it. I said, we're on a 3. We got a lot of wins to catch up, and we've only 3 straight. And it's like, I'm never going to be able to catch up all the way. It's going to be a long time if we ever do. But besides that, what from the media standpoint, from the outside, because, I listened to Paul's interview with Coach Summerall. Great interview, but he gives coaches answers. I want to know from a media standpoint, what are the expectations for Florida this year? What are you hearing the fans are expecting? Yeah. What are the people outside that locker room expecting? With you're gonna have a new offense, you have a new head coach, you have a whole new staff, you've got a new quarterback. Every team's got the turnover from the transfer portal, but there's a lot of new stuff. What is everybody expecting this year?
Yeah, I think you talked to a lot of Gator Nation, and a lot of the conversations I had, 8 just kind of seems to be that magic number.
Yeah.
It's, if you can get 8, most of the fan base is going to be really, really happy with that.
Okay.
Anything more, that's gravy. You're okay with that for sure. And then you get less than that. And look, I'm a big believer in year ones can be weird. You don't want to take too much away from them. Yeah, especially if they're bad. You don't want to. You can make some ultimate, fast decisions there that you won't look too good after that if you want to take all the bad if that season doesn't go the way you want it to. As you said, there's so many new pieces. But, hey, look, you go and look at John Summerall's history. His first year at Troy, they go and, I think, win double-digit games. And same thing at Tulane. It was very successful first years for John Summerall, but this is a different monster. You are in the SEC now. 9 conference games makes a difference as well, so you throw that in there. But I think the fan base is kind of – they're circling that number 8. And if you get 8 wins with this schedule, you've got some pretty good wins on your resume.
Yeah, that's
I agree with that, David, because I think the Florida fan base, Tennessee fan bases are pretty similar. We're pretty intense, pretty fiery, and with you given with Coach Summerall's previous success, I was wanting to know, is that what the Gator fans are expecting, that quick turnaround? I mean, y'all are a winning franchise. Y'all are, I think, a top 10 program of all time. You're used to winning. It's just what we have known. And I've been at the losing end of a lot of those games. But as a Florida fan, it's like, is there a number that Summerall needs to stay away from, that like year one they're like, oh man, this might have been a bad decision, or there are a couple of games this year that are kind of like must wins on the schedule that you cannot drop?
Yeah, that's a good one. You certainly cannot drop FSU at the end of the year because of the way FSU.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, you can't do that. Who even knows if Mike Norvell's going to be the head coach at that time?
That's a good question.
in the last game of the season, so you can't drop that one no matter what, honestly.
Yeah.
But the rivalry games are always going to matter, but is really anybody expecting Florida to beat Georgia this year? I don't think so. Games in Atlanta. It's not in Jacksonville this year, so that's a change.
Oh, yeah.
Georgia's going to be fighting for a college football playoff spot, but you just don't want that to keep going much longer. But in year one, I'm not going to say you would accept the loss, but you would understand a loss to Georgia. Texas and Oklahoma, if you can get one of those big wins, you got Oklahoma at home. And that's the game everybody's circling this year in the Swamp. Hey, what game are you going to this year? Oh, we're going to Oklahoma because the first time they played in the Swamp in history. So you're looking at that. But I'm still going to go back and circle that Auburn game. I think a lot of people are just going to compare because it's the first-year head coaches coming from the AAC. And, the Auburn storyline for John Summerall. So I think the Auburn and the FSU games, those are the games I'm going to circle, your first conference game, and then at the end of the year, those FSU games. Those are games I think if he wins those, he'll be in a good – that should lend itself to a pretty good record for Florida, but will also get the season started, the conference schedule started the right way, and end the season on a high note.
Well, David, we are bumped up against the break. We appreciate you taking out your time with us today. And, I want to touch base with you maybe in the next couple of weeks or even as the season kind of gets gearing up when they go back to practice after the summer. But we appreciate you coming on. David Waters from the Gators Breakdown. We appreciate you, my friend.
Thanks, David.
Thank y'all for having me.
Yes, sir. We're going to go ahead and take our next break. When we come back, we got to find out. I mean, Brandon, how good was Michigan? Are they top 5 ever? You listen to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Colin Cowherd.
So Fernando Mendoza had his pro day yesterday, but it's not completing passes. He literally announced the routes his receivers would be running before because he wanted to make sure that people there saw how great his wide receivers were. Folks, you're looking at Peyton Manning.
The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
Weekdays at 1.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good evening. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida. For tonight, partly cloudy and a low of 60 with wind 15 to 20 miles per hour out of the east-northeast. Sunshine tomorrow morning, a moderate breeze and hot near 71. Mostly sunny and 77 in the afternoon and evening. 78 and sunshine with a gentle breeze Friday. Saturday sunshine and a temperature about the same at 81. This is your Wednesday's weather brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Looking to upgrade your truck? It's Blue Diamond Truck Accessories in Panama City. They sell, service, and install it all. Light kits, bed covers, bumpers, winches, lift kits, and any trailer hitch you can imagine. Blue Diamond Truck Accessories, just west of Frankfort Avenue on 15th Street. Find Blue Diamond Truck Accessories on Facebook or call 850-914-0265. Blue Diamond Truck Accessories, 850-914-0265.
Your biggest investment is your home. Protect it while also improving its appearance with Earthworks of Northwest Florida. We have sand, mulch, gravel, or lay-down decorative stone, all available for pickup and delivery. Discover your dream landscape with Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Imagine the moment you proudly pull up to your home that you've worked so hard for, enhanced by quality mulch, decorative stones, and more. Let's make it happen today. Request a quote online at earthworkspc.com or swing by the office at 2005 Industrial Drive. Love the land you live on.
ESPN Northwest Florida advertisers get results. Here's MaxFit Sports Nutrition owner Jason Kovaleski.
So if you're looking to advertise or if you have a small business and you're looking to drive traffic to your store, check out ESPN 104.3 with Coach James Hale Show. I've been working with them for 7 years. They've driven a lot of traffic to my business. I get people all the time in my store that say, hey, I've heard you on the radio. It's one thing to advertise on the radio where people may hear it. It's another thing to be able to come on, talk to your customers directly. It's just one of the best form of advertisements I did, and I've gotten great returns off of it. So if you're looking for some form of advertisement to drive traffic, check out Coach Hale Show on ESPN. Contact Coach Hale, and he'll hook you up and get you started in the right direction and get you a lot more business.
Get results for your business. Call ESPN Northwest Florida, 850-215-4468. 850-215-4468.
ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the new Sports Blitz. Call in with your questions, hot takes, and rants at 850-215-6290. The Sports Talk Monster.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida, your spot for the Orlando Magic. That's right, the Magic play right after the show tonight. 6 o'clock is the tip-off. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson, and if you want to be a part of the show, you can be. 850-215-6290 is the phone line. And speaking of phone line, you can also text that line as well, which someone has. And I believe we woken a sleeping giant a little bit. Gators still going to suck. Go Canes. And then the Gators are scared to play Miami every year. That's on them. We're begging for them. So there you go. That's one of the games that got lost in the shuffle. The Gators and Miami. Now, you being a Tennessee fan, me being an Alabama fan, but, being covering sports, I don't love it. I love the Miami Gator game. I do. I love the Gator and Miami game. I love Florida State playing Miami. I love Florida State playing the Gators. I hate this new schedule deal. I get why they did it. I know that we're moving towards a larger playoff. I know that that's going to happen. And I know we're losing some of our old traditional games that we love to play and we miss and we're going to miss. And the only thing that I can hope for is that if we all make it to the playoff, we can play each other in that and we don't have a double up of a game that we played during the regular season. That's what I don't want. I want to be able to play different teams when you go to the playoffs. I get it, don't always work that way, but I don't like playing double up. I didn't love the Ole Miss Georgia game again. I wanted to see something else. But either way, do you think that they'll ever move it back, or do you think those days are done? We're finished.
I think they're done and finished. Sadly, now they may occasionally, and I don't know how long it'll be, but like those 3 locked-in games could potentially change after a couple of rounds. I know based off they were doing geographical location plus tradition. I mean, there's got to be a little change up. I would say every 4 years maybe, because I think that's the complete rotation of going back and forth and then playing the different teams in there. Yeah. But I think it's pretty much done and gone. Just like everything is changing, in front of our eyes, whether we like it or not. A lot of the traditionalism is kind of going out the window, and it's you kind of have to adapt, you have to learn, you have to move on, or you just kind of won't enjoy it. There's some of these guys out there that hate NIL so much it sounds like they're not even enjoying college football. And it's that's a shame because it's not going to change too much. So it's a sport that I will forever love. So you got to kind of get with the program.
Yeah. What do you think about Tennessee? I mean, they've got their orange and white game coming up.
We do.
And how's the quarterback position? Because like I said, Alabama is in the same situation, and just so you know, we're going to have an Alabama insider on tomorrow who's going to be discussing it. Florida, they're in the same situation. Tennessee's in this situation. The other schools seem to have solidified starters with Texas and Georgia. I think Austin Simmons is probably going to be the starter with Missouri. And then when you look at some of the other ones, you got Reed at A&M. He's going to be there. Lenore Sellers is going to be there. South Carolina. Sam Levitt's going to be the starter there at LSU. So, I mean, you've got all of these starters. Kentucky's
Gunnar
probably
Stockton
going to –
and Georgia. Yeah. I don't know if you said that or not. But
yeah, so, I mean, you got all these. But then you got these 3 schools that are – Tennessee, Alabama, and Florida, where there's a competition going on. So what have you been hearing about Tennessee and their quarterback competition?
So right now, McIntyre's still kind of leading. I mean, like I said, he's been there for about a year and a half. From what I've been reading and watching, that he's walking around like, not like it's his job. I don't want to say cocky or arrogant, but he has placed himself in that leadership role. Like, he is taking control. He, from what I've read, he has been the more verbal one. He's the most familiar one. Guys are, kind of looking to him for leadership, and he's kind of embracing it. So, the kid that's right behind him that's pushing him is the kid straight out of high school. Fajon Brandon. And, Fajon's he's an athlete, and he is going to get his turn. So, I mean, he's like 6'3", 6'4", 220, athletic as can be.
I like them tall guys.
Hey, but McIntyre, McIntyre's 6'6". He's 200 pounds. With our new strength and conditioning coach, Owings, these guys, he's put on 20 pounds since Owings has been there.
Wow.
So let the summer go, summer program. Let's keep eating. Let's keep lifting. Let's see where this goes. But, I read something the other day. I don't know if I've said it on here before, but the third quarterback, Staub, he says, in my 3 years of playing college football, I haven't had as much coaching as I have had in the first month I have been here. Special coaching. So he spent 3 years in Colorado, just to say,
Dion.
and he has only been with Tennessee for 1 or 2 months, and he has received. He said he has received, and honestly, I mean, is the guy third on the depth chart right now, has received more coaching in his first couple of months than he did in 3 years. So I believe in the staff. I full-heartedly believe that Heupel will put the best guy in place. I do think that Faison Brandon would probably be a better athlete. Like if a play broke down, I guarantee you he'd be able to make more plays.
Yeah.
But what I'm hearing right now is, George McIntyre, with the time he has already been there, he is more familiar with the offense, is running it a little smoother, making good decisions. If the play breaks down, I don't think he's going to be able to get away as much. I mean, 6'6". I mean, I think that's pretty much what Nico was. He was about 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah.
But I think he was a little more athletic than McIntyre. He played volleyball. He played other sports. He was a big guy. But I mean, McIntyre was a 4 or 5 star recruit in the state of Tennessee who wants to play for the state of Tennessee. And I remember hearing, I think it was y'all talking about it yesterday, Michigan didn't have they had one kid on their team from the state of Michigan.
Yeah.
And I think that goes a lot to say, to have a kid in state who wants to play for you.
Yeah.
There's a whole different other motivation,
Yeah.
a drive. This kid has watched Tennessee Volunteer football growing up his whole life, and he is now there. So it's like, hey, don't lose it. Take advantage of it. And if anybody's going to do that, it's a kid or a guy who has dreamt of this position his whole life. He's not just playing for another school he doesn't really care for. This is his passion, man. He loves Tennessee football.
And if you look at the schedule, it's not the same as Florida, but it does kind of render a little bit of like Florida, because you as well know that you're wanting 8 wins. You're wanting that 8-3, somewhere around there. You want your 8 wins. You've got Alabama. You got Texas A&M.
Got Texas.
And you got Texas.
Yeah.
All right? So those are all going to be what it's going to be. And you could say, we've had Alabama's number or whatever or not, or we've had Texas's number or not. But there's that one team that keeps popping up that everybody seemingly has to play. But the only good thing about it is you play them in Rocky Top, and that is the Auburn Tigers.
Yeah.
What makes them so different, though, is because you've got a coach and his quarterback that have played with each other. Mm-hmm. And Byron Brown has played in some really big games and against really good competition. And I don't know if you saw him the other day. They had a deal going on, and Cam Newton was at practice. And Cam's tall, but Byron Brown looked like he was built out of a rock. He looked like he was chiseled in stone. I mean, he looked like Jalen Milroe, but about 2 or 3 or 4 inches taller.
Really?
And I mean, this guy, you just wonder, because you got your South Carolinas, you got your Kentuckys, you got your Vandys and all of that. But, that fourth game, you got your Arkansas, but you're thinking, man, who we got? Auburn sitting here. So Auburn realistically is the team that if you don't beat them,
it's going to be a tough road.
It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
Because like you said, we got to play Texas. Texas at home. That's the battle of the real UT. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
it helps.
that's kind of going to be a new SEC bowl, will be the battle of the UTs. Then you said you got Alabama. We have A&M, who's going to be really good. And we have LSU. And then we also have a Vanderbilt, which has improved in all sports. You've seen them in the basketball tournament. Their baseball's historically always been good. And now they're pouring money into their football team. I mean, I'm pretty sure they stole a 5-star quarterback recruit from Georgia who decided to go there. So it's like, I don't know if the Pavia effect is going to carry Vanderbilt to further success in the future. I don't know. Was that an aberration? Like, is that something that is going to happen every year, or is that something that here and there, or was that just a kind of an outlier season for Vanderbilt? But we don't know. We have to play them at the end of the year again. I'm not going to really look past that game because of them walking into Neyland last year and just absolutely putting belt to butt. So
yeah, I think Vanderbilt is done.
Yeah,
I think they're over. I think the Pavia years are done. I think he brought them the little bit of confidence. They got some grown men over there. That's fine. But Vanderbilt football is not back. It's not ever been back. It's not going to be back. So it's over.
I know you've got a sore spot somewhere in there.
So Vanderbilt, you can go ahead and act like you want that you are the up and coming team in Tennessee. But let me just tell you something. Memphis and Middle Tennessee is where you need to stay. So either way, I'm just saying. But yeah, if you look at that schedule, it's not a tough schedule necessarily to get your 8 wins because you don't ever know what's going to happen. This year, is it going to be like basketball? Is it going to be like baseball? Is there going to be a lot of parity? Is it going to be teams that, win? Are we going to beat each other up in the SEC? Are the Big Ten this year, because of their big teams, are they going to beat each other up too? So realistically, this year, is 8 wins enough? Is 3 losses going to get you there? That's the question.
I don't know. I don't know if because our strength of schedule within the SEC conference was by far way greater than the strength of schedules of other conferences.
Yeah.
And we legitimately just made it harder.
Yes.
We made the strength of the schedule even tougher. So I do believe we're going to beat up on each other. There's going to be a bunch of 3 and 4 loss SEC teams. And at that point, I think it's going to be tougher for the committee to choose. You're going to have 4, 5, maybe 3 loss SEC teams, and there's only a couple spots to get in. We're going to be arguing about the same darn things again at the end of the year. Who's in, who's out. So I think after this year, this is where the committee votes and expands it. It needs to be at least 16. I don't want to see it go much over there, but, you do rank the top 25. I don't believe it needs to be 64. I don't want to water it down, to be quite honest with you. But I do believe it needs to be probably more than the top 12.
Well, I know Gus Malzahn's in the committee. So, Alabama, you better not be close on the edge because I'm telling you, that's going to be one vote that's going to be against you.
Yeah, for sure.
You better stay there. Let's talk about Recommended Collision Center. It is a place that if your vehicle has any kind of cosmetic damage, you need to go see those guys. Brandon and them, they do a great job. Tell us some of the things that you guys do specifically that sets you apart from any of the other collision centers or body shops.
So, we just go above and beyond. I try to repair your vehicle like I'm repairing one of my family members. These insurance companies, they're all about saving $1.
Yes.
And they don't necessarily, I feel like, honestly, I want to fix the vehicle better than the insurance wants to fix the vehicle. And, you'll have you may have a 2025, 2026 vehicle, and you still have insurance wanting to put used and aftermarket parts on your vehicle.
No.
And we've got programs and stuff like that we're able to try to price match these parts that the insurance is, cheaply putting on your vehicle, and we're able to price match that and still be able to get you an OEM certified brand new, Ford, Chevrolet, Toyota, Honda, Volkswagen, whatever you drive, we're able to usually get that. Now, if we're not, and we think it's going to be any kind of deal, we let you guys know. We put you in the loop, say, hey, your insurance has done this. We're not able to do this. Are you wanting to pay the difference, and just kind of keep you in the loop. Quality of work and customer service are our 2 main pillars. And, I tell my guys all the time, bad news is better than no news. Keep your customer in the loop. Even if it's something that you're not looking forward to telling them, at least they're updated and there are no blind sides. They are totally within the loop. So we try to be completely transparent. I'm completely honest with you, and tell you about the whole thing. Like, I write estimates. I know a lot of these shops, when they give these estimates, Here you go. Thank you. Have a nice day. I take the estimate out there and I go line by line. This is what this means. We're doing this. Do you see this right here? This is why this line is here. And I'll go over. I did that with a couple of gentlemen today, and they appreciated. And you're like, man, I wouldn't have understood any of this.
Yeah.
This other people gave us a quote, but they didn't quote this, this, and this. And so it's just I try to get it all up front. No, we're not perfect. I don't have X-ray vision. I can't see the future, but I will do above and beyond. I'll crawl under your car. I'll open stuff up. I'll take one or two things off just to get that additional view to give you the most accurate answer I physically can.
What's so important about doing OEM? Like, a lot of people don't understand why OEM compared to aftermarket matters.
Yeah, so OEM is original equipment from the manufacturer, or original manufacturer equipment. It makes a couple of big deals because, one, I mean, these aftermarket parts aren't usually made here in the U.S. They are built after the fact, and they typically don't fit 100% correct. Right. And sometimes, and even some, depending on the aftermarket part, aren't certified as far as crash specs and things like that. So you just have to be careful. And I told customers,
because that could put you in a bad situation if you get in a wreck.
Yeah, 100%. And I would rather, and it sounds bad, and I don't call them junk yards. I call them salvage yards because we salvage parts. We save parts from those yards because I would much rather have a used good salvage part than to have an aftermarket part. And I try to tell, I said, at least this part right here is a Chevrolet, is a Ford part, is something, rather than a part made in China or Taiwan or somewhere overseas. Yugoslavia, that are coming in cargo ships and they're falling over, and you get them and they're dented and they're warped and they've been sitting in a hot truck for weeks trying to get overseas. It's just, it's not the type of quality parts. Now, there are some instances where there's not a choice. Customer can't afford to do this, and we can't price match it. I can't lose money ordering you a part. So, I mean, we'll go above and beyond. We did one for a nonprofit, and it was an aftermarket fender, and they have to actually raise money for their estimates.
Wow.
And so we got the most cost-effective fender, and we told them, say, hey, this thing may not be the best, but we're going to work our best with it. My body guy, I mean, he's awesome, and I can't ask him to spend forever on it, but he said, man, this don't fit. I'm going to do my best to make this. If I have to do a little extra right here, I'm going to make this fit because it is my work that reflects this job as well. So, I mean, those are kind of the things that set us apart. We try to go above and beyond for the customer, man.
And that's exactly why you need to go see them at Recommended Collision Center. What's the address and what's the phone number?
Yeah, so our address is 1329 Jenks Avenue. That's Jenks. It's on the south side of Jenks Avenue over the railroad track. Our phone number is 850-763-2471. We give free estimates. Come by anytime. We're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5.
Yeah, go see Recommended Collision Center on the right side of the tracks.
Yes,
I know he said the south side, so that's the right side of the tracks. But either way, we're going to take our next break. When we come back, we're going to answer a Facebook question that's been pinned to Brandon. Who is Peyton Manning going to pull for in the battle of the UTs? You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Mornings on ESPN Northwest Florida just got unsportsmanlike.
The only reason why Lamar Jackson would sign a long-term deal this offseason is because the Ravens made him an offer that he couldn't refuse. If you're Lamar, you could potentially get a monster deal after contracts are opened up with the rookie class of 2024. That's why this is a delicate situation.
Evan Canty and Michelle. Weekdays 5 to 7 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs, with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5, and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food, on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
Are you living with chronic pain, anxiety, or sleepless nights? You don't have to just get by. You deserve to thrive. At Thrive Alternative Medicine on Panama City Beach Parkway, Dr. Laughlin and counselor Suzanne Clark provide a compassionate path to relief. From medical marijuana card certifications to professional mental health counseling, managing conditions like PTSD, chronic pain, and the complexities of cancer. Book online at thrivealternativemedicine.com. Thrivealternativemedicine.com. Find the relief you deserve.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
The phone lines are open, the opinions are flowing, and the arguments are just getting started.
You cannot give LSU extra opportunities. With just one loss, they can sneak in there. They're playing championship football.
The Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson is back, and we're putting you in the game.
He has not turned the ball over.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, your spot for the Orlando Magic. Don't forget, tonight, in about 12 minutes, the Magic are going to be on the line right here at 104.3 ESPN. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson. We've been talking about Tennessee football, SEC football. We've talked about Gator football. And if you want to be a part of the show, you still can be 850-215-6290. And don't forget, the Braves are up 8-2 in the bottom of the ninth.
Let's go Braves.
So they are up. But there was a question delivered by Michael Fields.
Okay.
And it says this. It says, who is Peyton Manning going to pull for?
Oh, here we go.
Tennessee or Texas?
So I feel like I know this answer. I don't know Peyton personally. Would I love to? Yeah.
I've met him.
I would love to. People send me photos of him around town because, like I said, his other son's in Chattanooga. I know a bunch of people around there. So, yeah, I hear about it all the time. So Peyton would be the guy who would never root against Tennessee.
Yeah.
Never, ever.
That's right.
He would probably say, I hope Arch throws for 1,000 yards and six touchdowns and still loses. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's Peyton in a nutshell. If I have been around, watched, the Manning cast and everything, from his Tennessee Water Cup, that guy is not rooting against Tennessee losing. I don't care who is playing for Texas. But he's not going to wish bad on Arch. So, I think he's going to hope Arch does well, but he's going to hope for a Tennessee win.
Well, his son Marshall, which they call him Marsh. So you got Arch and Marsh. And I met him and was at the games and all with his son.
Yeah.
And they are they're in Tennessee colors. They are in Tennessee colors. Their team is a Tennessee color team. They're from Tennessee. Like you said, they live in Tennessee. They moved to Tennessee. He's playing in Chattanooga, and his son Marsh is wearing 16. He's going to Tennessee.
He has to.
There is no chance. And Peyton and them he's got so much money. With all of the deals,
unreal.
All of the deals that he does, he's so wealthy.
Yeah.
The money's not going to matter to Marsh.
Yeah.
Because Marsh is going to be fine. It's going to be, I'm going to play for who I want. And as long as he continues to get big, as long as he continues to grow, as long as he continues to perfect his craft, he's going to go to Tennessee. There is no way that Peyton Manning is going to cheer against Tennessee. Yeah. I agree with you. Why does he love Tennessee so much? Because his dad went to Ole Miss, his brother went to Ole Miss. He's from Louisiana. How did it happen? Did he love David Cutcliffe? Did he love the coaches so much?
I'm gonna have to dig more into that. I don't know if Peyton has wrote a book. If he's written a book, this is my love for Tennessee, I'd read it. I'd read it. And
there you go, Peyton.
If
you're listening, Peyton, we would definitely push your book, My Love for Tennessee, if you're listening.
Yeah, I definitely would. I'd buy it, and you sign me one, and I'll promote it every single day. But yeah, I don't know the exact answer to that. I'm sure I could do like an essay or some kind of project or some kind of
a book report.
Yeah, I can do a book report and bring it in next Wednesday and kind of let everybody know. But yeah, man, he bleeds orange, and I absolutely love it, man.
He's from Louisiana. How do you bleed orange? His daddy went to Mississippi. I just don't understand it. I just when I was with him a couple of weeks ago or a month or so ago, I wish I would have asked him, why'd you pick Tennessee? Why do you love Tennessee? I don't know. Maybe he would have told me.
I'm not sure, but now honestly, I don't think I've ever thought about that. I need answers. So
yeah.
I'm going to probably do some homework tonight sitting up in bed, and I'll probably text you like, hey, this is why. We can talk about it whenever. But yeah, man, he bleeds orange. I bleed orange. It's one of my favorite players of all time. I think just because of the way he's always repped Tennessee through the good, the bad, the ugly.
Yeah.
He has been a Tennessee guy, and that's really cool. That's what a Tennessee fan is. I mean, he is the representative of a Tennessee fan through the good, the bad, the ugly. We're always there. We're always passionate, and we're always going to love, our power team.
And the thing about him and Marsh is that they go to the games.
Yeah, they do.
They support the other sports. They go to baseball, they go to softball, and they go to basketball.
Yeah,
and they go to
he's like an
basketball.
ambassador of Tennessee.
He is.
I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a check every year from the University of Tennessee as an ambassador. Yeah, I mean, just free tickets. But Tennessee actually just signed. So Marsh goes to Baylor High School in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Tennessee, I believe, is it next year, has signed the 5-star running back that is on Baylor. So Baylor is a school already feeding players to the University of Tennessee.
And they're orange, right?
They're red, actually.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
they're actually red, and it is a boys and girls. It's a private school, so it's a real. I mean, dude, it's like a college campus.
I think it's like 60,000 to go there or something. Crazy.
It's something crazy. I mean, full brick. Just everything so nice. It literally looks nicer than some.
Now
college
you're talking
campuses.
Jeffrey's language. He's going to go see the landscape.
He should.
That's what it's about.
He should.
If
If Jeffrey's not been to Chattanooga, Jeffrey, if you're listening, Chattanooga's amazing, man.
Oh yeah, he's
great
going.
Food, great scenes, great sports. You got minor league stadiums. You got great high school sports. Go see it, man.
He will.
It's
I'm
awesome.
sure he will. Now, we haven't had you on since the final game of the NCAA championship. Michigan won the Big Ten. UNC or UConn playing against them. What'd you think about it?
Man, I'm not going to say I called it, but after they beat Tennessee, I was like, ain't nobody beating this team.
Yeah.
I was like, they routed Alabama.
Yeah.
They routed us. They routed Arizona, who everybody was bowing to.
Yes.
Whether it be Jeffrey, whether it was the ESPN analyst. I mean, after I seen that, it's like, there's no way. They're destined to win. They have beat the brakes. They have had one of the I think over the last couple of years, I've seen what y'all sent. I think they've had one of the harder runs.
Yeah,
through the tournament. To be quite honest with you, now looking back at their stats, I don't know how the hell they won the championship game. Looking at that, I mean, they just played absolutely hard. They shot like poop.
22%.
Yeah, I mean, it was unreal. I think I had a couple of them pulled up here. It looks like they shot 13% from the 3-point line. Yeah, 13%, 38 from field goal. Now, they were 25 for 28 in free throw percentage. Now, that's probably why. I mean, they won by 6. They won both halves, but they got out-rebounded. They got outshot, and it's just I was like, man, they just had to play harder.
Yeah.
And that's what it seemed like on the court. Lindenborg was out there, and didn't have a great outing. He had 13 points, was 0 for 5 from 3-point land, but his presence definitely, kept UConn with the game plan as if he was healthy, even though I don't think he was. His numbers say it. He's been phenomenal all tournament, and with this outing was enough. But yeah, man, I really thought that they're gonna take it home after they routed Tennessee. I was just like, nobody can stop this team.
And if you look at it, it's exactly what the earlier caller was talking about with these grown men playing college basketball, grown men playing college football, grown men playing college baseball. And, that was the deal. I mean, really, I don't know how old all of them were, but I will say that Michigan – they were seasoned. All 5 of their starters were from another school that transferred in. If you look at Indiana, all of their school most of their starters was from another school. So, I mean, if you look at it, they just were better. And I think when you listen to Bobby Hurley or Danny Hurley talk about it during the game, he said, we have to do this. We have to do this to even be in the game. And some of the things that they needed to happen happened. And I would say it's closer than they should have been because that game should have been a blowout. It should have been another 20-point loss.
It should have
But
been.
because of the horrid shooting from Michigan.
It was a lackluster
game.
game.
If they would have just been a normal 30% from the three-point line, you're talking another 4 shots. That's 20 points.
Yeah, and from what I heard, Michigan, I mean, we talked about it. I think y'all talked about it yesterday on air. I think we talked about it off air. But Michigan only had, one player from Michigan. They hit hard in the transfer portal. I believe in 2025, which was the season that they did it in, they were second in their transfer portal rankings and money spent. I mean, Tennessee was like 29th. And I'm like, why the heck can we not compete? And it's because we're not going out there and spending the money on the guy. I don't know if we just haven't gotten with the program. Like, are we not realizing, like me and you sitting here, that, like, hey, these older, more experienced transfer portal teams are the ones taking it home? Michigan, Indiana, proof in the pudding. They're the last 2 teams. They've hit the transfer portal hard. They've spent their money. They have won their championships. And if you're not spending money, you're not competing these days.
And Texas is doing it in football.
Yeah.
So if they win next year, then you'll know that it's because of the money.
Yeah.
And that's where it is. You follow the money. You'll see it because Duke is the number 1 recruiter. They're number 1 right now for basketball. Number 2 is Michigan right behind them.
Hey.
But nobody's got the NIL yet. So we'll see what happens.
We'll see.
Thank you, Brandon, for being here.
You're welcome,
Bone Crusher,
man.
thank you so much for doing it today.
Yes,
Braves
sir.
won 8-2. That's a good thing. No tackling by the catcher or non-tackling by the catcher. We will be here tomorrow. Don't forget, listen out. 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida. We'll see you tomorrow.
Keep the game going with ESPN Northwest Florida. Just because you get out of the car doesn't mean the Sports Talk and Live